Hello, and welcome to this episode of Demystified, as we explore home cooking in a modern world. Linda, and I'm here with my friend Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hello, Linda.
How are you today?
Let's move on.
Well, I must say, it's we're in our, week 111th of lockdown or something. It feels like it anyway.
Yeah.
So it has been hard to find our mojo, I must say.
Yes. Let's just go with that for today.
Our lack of mojo. But there have been things going behind the scenes, but not a lot of actual cooking for me this week. How about you?
No, not much this week. I can't remember when we last spoke, but I have done some stuff which I haven't
2 weeks ago
edited.
Yeah.
So there is stuff coming. My childhood favourite, Madeira cake.
Oh,
and
yum.
I also did a spiced pear and apple pie, sort of old school with lard pastry and stuff. And you know all about that.
I do know all about that. That was yummy.
Ended up going to your place. Well, to Dougie, really. Let's be honest.
He could not wait. He was so excited. He could not wait.
And when I saw Santa Claus, briefly...
yes, you've seen. That beard is getting a little bit out of control. Yes, I know.
He did comment that he enjoyed it. But other than that, not much. We did... Actually, there's something to mention. Cooking with Steam got a mention in the Wall Street Journal.
That was exciting. That was very exciting.
So that was interesting.
And since then, we've had a run-on from America, sales of our books.
Correct.
Which is interesting, because normally the postage kills any opportunity to sell the book overseas. But there's been a run-on.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I wouldn't go as far as saying a run. I think we've had maybe... I would say a few orders. I wouldn't say there's been a run on,
Linda.
Linda.
Been a run? I think it's a run.
Your version of a run and mine are
well, don't forget,
two different
we're
things.
in lockdown, buddy, so anything past...
one is what you're considering a run. Clearly.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It feels like it.
But hopefully within weeks, we might have a different option for our overseas people.
Yes, and I've got, I've just shown you what we're at so far with
So
that.
we may as well tell people.
We might as well. Yeah. So while I haven't been doing a lot of cooking, I have been behind the scenes. Well, as you know, that probably you haven't had any calls from me saying, Paul, I need help. So
no. It's
probably taken you off the hook a little bit. But we have started the process of getting demystified and Demystified 2 further or more steam oven recipes support up online, so we can sell them print on demand around the world. So it'll mean that our good folk in the USA, the UK, and everywhere in between can actually print out the book and have it shipped at local shipping costs. And what a difference that will be, particularly for the USA market. Like, that is amazing. Their postage, I'm so impressed with the cost of their postage compared to ours.
Well, anything compared to Australia Post is
and they actually get it probably delivered each day, unlike ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been conversing strongly with my 4-year-old about the imminent arrival of his Lego figurines, which have been on order for months.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do. It is what it is. But yeah, the mistake I made was telling him they were coming.
No, you don't do that. No.
Well.
Yes. No.
What, rely on rely on the Australia Postal Service?
Well, I don't want to sit here. They're struggling, but yeah, they're struggling.
Yeah. And half the problem is the mail that is meant to come to Victoria is getting bypassed and going to New South Wales and sorted in New South Wales and then coming back down to Victoria. So even stuff within Victoria is going to New South Wales. So if I send you something, there is a distinct possibility that it may well go to New South Wales before it gets to you. Now, how is that?
Could you put me in a box?
How is that? How is that?
Send me?
How is that like sustainable business? I don't know. Like, look, we're not here to bag Australia Post, but nonetheless.
But it is fun. And
it's been difficult.
Well,
and they are expensive. Like this is
They
our
are.
this is our thing. This is our
Even sending a book around Australia, I've started using a courier for local deliveries of my day job stuff
Yeah.
because I can't rely on mail getting to where it needs to be in a reliable fashion. So I can imagine the frustration when you go to buy a book and you find that the postage is way more than the cost of the book.
yeah.
So we are very excited that print on demand will enable Demystified and the second
Volume.
second volume to be out, which we anticipate at this stage, all things being equal, will be out before Christmas.
Yeah, volume
Well,
one.
volume 1 will definitely
Definitely be. Yeah.
but volume 2 is not far away, and so we're very excited about that. It's been interesting, Paul, going back through our recipes. I must say, I know you and I have talked about cookbooks and recipes that we follow, and you think they're a guide, but it wasn't.
No, I know they're a guys.
No,
You think they're the law.
Absolutely. And because Joel's handed this over, and now I'm looking at it from a different aspect to what Joel was doing with them. It's interesting looking at them, and because I've cooked so many of them, I know them so well, and finding all the little inconsistencies with them. So
thanks.
No, from our end. And I think from the time that you first developed the recipe, and we put it up on Cooking with Steam website, and then when we developed the book, it was a huge amount of work, and we completely underestimated what that was going to be like, and that was a huge amount of work.
Yeah.
And I know that Joel had constant communications with the printers at the time, tightening things up, and it was a nightmare for him. But this new way that we're printing, and to be able to see the recipes like this in this format and know that we can still edit them if there is a mistake, that's the other beauty.
Yeah.
The things that are wrong with Demystified at the moment, they're fixed in print. We can't change them. And there are only, maybe 4 or 5 little areas where, like the calamari recipe.
Yeah, and people have highlighted them to us.
Yeah,
but
and we know, but we can't do anything. Well, we couldn't
No.
until now with print on demand. When we find a mistake or when it's not clear, we can go back in, take it down, change that page, put it back up.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we've gone this print on demand way through the Ingram Spark platform that we're using, because
And it'll still be hardcover.
still hardcover, but it'll be able to be ordered from where you are in your country and shipped at your local shipping prices. And that, I think, makes it...
Yeah, so that will mean that the shipping for a book within, let's say, the US will be...
peanuts.
Compared to the current... I think it's close
Extortion.
to $60 Australian it is
Yeah.
at the moment. Well, yeah.
So we're very excited about that. So that's what I've been enjoying. I'm about halfway through the edit of the recipes, and
Just when you thought it was over, really.
well, it has been nice to revisit it, because it has been a couple of years since I've really looked at this sort of pinpoint sort of review, and we thought we did it really well. Like, we must have proofread Demystified, I don't know, 27
Well,
times
I think
each.
I've still got the original printouts with the
Oh, have you?
with the actual, what are they, 6x8 photos attached to each recipe, still at home, and it's a massive folder of
Wow.
paper, and it's a huge quantity of words and all the rest of it. And we did that several times. We did
Yeah.
white covers. Joel
White
did,
covers, yeah.
and like I
Yeah.
read it, you read it, Joel read it,
Our spouses
Steph read it.
Yeah.
Dougie read it, Em read it. Like, there was
Yeah.
half a dozen people at least. And there's still mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, this is the problem when you don't have an in-house editor and we're not a publishing house.
And
But given that there's only less than... Well, there's a handful of mistakes.
I know.
Like, it's
I know.
it's actually not too bad.
But it has been nice sitting down with it in Word
We
format.
didn't have a run on mistakes like you would like to say we have a run on book sales.
No, but it has been interesting because I know when we were doing Demystified, Joel had it in PDF format, and every time there had to be a change, it took him hours to download and have to load it back up for the printers, and that was a mess. But this print on demand, not only does it enable around the world, but enables
Are you a
us...
salesperson for these people?
Well, my book... I
Yeah.
should plug my book. My book's
should.
coming out as
What's
well.
it called?
It's called So You Want to Be a Tax Agent, which is probably in a very different
Say it slower.
market.
So
to the
you
people
want
who
to
are
be a
listening.
tax agent.
I know. if you did, this is a book to buy. But it has enabled us to...
Who's the publishing house that's doing that, Linda?
Oh, that'd be Ingram Sparks.
No,
oh,
they're the printer.
No, Julianne Harper from Pickawoo. Can't praise her enough.
Yeah, but...
Oh, the publishing house. Steam Ahead Publishing.
Oh, there you go.
Gosh, got there eventually. Sorry, Paul.
Oh,
You've got to feed me. He's been fishing for these. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not on the same tram. But Julianne Harper from Pickawoo, love her. Can't praise her enough. And she's helping with Demystified and also sorting us out with Demystified too.
So when does your book go up live and how do people find it?
Well, it's up live now, but how to find it...
Can you buy it now?
I'm not sure about that myself, but it's up live now.
So where do they go though? Because this will be...
Apparently well, this is my test. I'm using my book as a crash test
but I
dummy.
want to buy one.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You've got one coming for Christmas, buddy.
Oh,
You just...
Wow, what a Christmas gift. Awesome.
Well, it beats the candle you normally get.
The generosity.
I'm trying to...
tell people, where can they find it to buy it?
I don't know.
So it's up online. What's it called?
Was the day.
How to be you want to be a tax agent. So maybe just Google that.
A guide to surviving public practice. But
there you go.
I am using it as a crash test dummy because my little book, which has a very limited market and is a very small book, but it is a precursor to what we're doing with Demystified.
What's the price, RRP Australian?
$14.95.
There you go.
And
support Steam Ahead Publishing, even if you don't want to be a tax agent.
But it's a great gift for anyone you know who's at uni who's thinking they do want to become an accountant.
Ah, okay.
It's a very worthwhile and rewarding career. Did I say that with any sincerity?
Well, I've spent enough time in this office to know that.
Anyway, let's move on away from that. But no, I don't know yet. But I will know, and when I do know, I will share it with the beautiful folk who listen to our podcast because we are very excited to have this.
And your clients and customers on your website and all the rest of it, where they can get your book, and then we will do the same. Because I
don't think my clients really care about that, but I'm hoping that there's 600,000 students around the world doing accounting. They might think it's interesting.
600,000, $14.95 a go. Nice.
Yes,
what's the maths there, lady?
Yeah, no, but the cost of publishing. Anyway, we won't go there. That's a different story. But I am using the same platform in the same way we're doing for Demystified, so I can iron out any crinkles and we can learn from the mistakes that I will no doubt make on this myself.
Yeah, I mean the thing is we
exciting.
kind of had to go a bit backwards because we had a book, we had a physical book, so
yes,
we've had to go a bit backwards, but nonetheless, it'll be within weeks.
And definitely, and
so if you're listening in the States and Canada,
and then a few more weeks after that, book
New Zealand,
Volume 2 will come
New Zealand.
out. Remember the first time
New Zealand?
The first book sale we had was
from New Zealand.
Mrs. Brown in New Zealand.
That's actually true. It's not just a made-up name.
No, it's actually no. I didn't give out her first name in case there's a few Mrs. Browns. So I don't want to, know the specific one for privacy. But we were so proud of that. It was our first sale of our book was to New Zealand.
And it was only about 5 minutes after it went
Exactly.
on. Yeah.
We thought she must have been sitting there with the...
yeah, it was bizarre.
It was great timing. We were so
but we'll let you
surprised.
know when it goes, when it goes up and when it goes live. And
there has been a couple of recipes that you've done recently posted. And
I think we put them up.
May I give a plug to that Basque cheesecake? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Basque. Yeah, thank you. Basque cheesecake. I did get to taste that, listeners, and I must say, if you're looking for an extremely smooth, great tasting, easy to make cheesecake,
super easy to make. That's the one for me.
Few ingredients and no crust. Yeah. It forms the way that you cook it forms a crust. That was absolutely sensational. That's probably one of my favourite desserts that you've made.
You like cheesecake though as a starting point.
Yes.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Well, it's just a bit different. And if you can't be bothered making a crust, because when you think about it, make the crust, you melt the butter, get the food processor out, blitz the...
Yeah.
What do they call them in America? Graham crackers. Blitz them up. Then clean that, da-da-da-da. Whereas this, you literally mix a whole heap of stuff together in one mixer, tip it into a cake tin and bake it. It really is the simplest thing in the world.
Yeah.
The simplest thing, and it is delicious. The biggest issue with it is that because it's quite dense, although it's reasonably light to eat, it's quite dense. It takes ages to cool down.
Okay, so if you want to make it for dinner, make it well early in the morning.
Make it a day ahead. Actually, best off to do it a day ahead.
Well, it was just
really
amazing.
early
The
in the
texture
morning.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a big baked cheesecake fan. In a rule,
Yeah.
I prefer the condensed milk ones with the cream cheese. But just for anyone out there listening, just saying,
Those ones generally have gelatin in them too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
But
so you like munching on horse hooves.
I love it when you share those tips. Thanks for that.
There's nothing wrong with gelatin, by the way.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
But
it does come from
thanks.
horse feet, pig's feet.
No, it comes out of a packet, Paul.
Yeah, okay.
We've had that discussion. It
Yeah.
comes out of a packet, buddy. But it was super tasty and really great texture. I thought, wow, you've nailed this one.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And
so yeah, we'll get back to. I've got my the other thing which will come, which will be a whole heap of. We're not sure how we're going to do it yet, whether it'll go on the website or where it will go, but there'll be a whole heap of Christmas stuff coming. So I've actually just written the recipes. It doesn't mean they're final, but I've written the recipes for various Christmas things, including Empire pudding, which we talked about, I think, didn't we? Yeah. So now I've got to go and buy an absolute bucket load of dried fruit and candied peel and all the rest of that. I do have some which I've stashed, which is actually quite old now, but it's been soaking for 2+ years in Pedro Jimenez sherry.
oh,
So that's going to be pretty potent.
what part of your house is that in at the moment? Not that I can go visit your house at the moment, but if I
It's
could
been
visit
in a
your
dark
house
cupboard,
at the
actually.
moment,
It's in a container that belongs to you, actually.
I do. I have it back now, thanks. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do, there's a whole heap of Christmas stuff coming. So whether that comes out in its own little format or on the website, don't know yet. So we'll do that. And we'll do a couple of other recipes. But if anyone's got anything they want a recipe done for, if they just want to...
Yeah, this is a good time to
reach
out and, particularly if you're in...
It's just this pre-Christmas sort of thing.
Yeah, if you're in planning mode, this is a great time to do some testing.
Yeah, a bit of a practice run.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's going to bust out a whole turkey right now.
No one's going to bust out a whole turkey, but you might try some sides. You might try some other little desserts just to try on the day so that they're ready, or you could plan beforehand. So, great. Well, thank you for that. And
No worries.
to everyone listening, happy cooking.
Happy cooking.
Stay
Buy Linda's
well.
book. So, you want
No.
to be a tax agent.
Save your money and buy
Linda's book.
Demystified.
Buy Linda's book.
Demystified. Thanks for that, Paul. Take
See ya.
care. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.